Takes Prison Story Family Salute. Y'all, it's your boy Tim Snow back here with another one. Do me a favor, hit that thumbs up button for me and leave a comment for the algorithm. I sure appreciate it. This video right here is going to maybe ruffle some feathers, maybe not. I don't know. But we're just going to talk a little bit of facts. So, there were people in my comments from my video yesterday saying that the Tango Blasts would be deemed degenerates and no good in California unless they got with the program. Basically, that program is pick one of the two big groups if you're Hispanic and get on down. But I'm here to tell you, it probably wouldn't work like you think it would work. All right. Because they've already been there. A lot of people don't think things through. They don't look at past history and all this, but there's so many stories. You can listen to them on YouTube about the EPT car in California, the inmates from El Paso, Texas. The inmates from El Paso, Texas broke apart and formed the Texas Syndicate in California. EPT is a tango, y'all. Come on now. It's tango EPT. So to say that they would be no good and they couldn't do it, they've already done it. Then half of those guys branched off and started a legit prison gang. They went nationwide in the feds and came down here and took over a lot of Texas towns. Became a free world gang here, still a federal gang, still a state gang. So, I mean, to make that justification, I'm not sure where that comes from, other than probably just pride and not knowing your history. And both of those are understandable, but we can set it straight with facts. You know what I mean? And that's just the best way to do it, I guess. The earliest report that I could find in the newspapers, any media or anything like that about Texas inmates in a California prison doing anything other than the shoe war. All right. Just the fact that they were there existing, everybody knows. They weren't ran slap off the yard or anything like that. And we'll even talk about why they're there. So that'll be pretty interesting to some of y'all that are younger. Look, this is an article from July 9th, 1976. It's talking about the Special Management Unit, where they send the confirmed gang members, the Aryan Brotherhood, the Black Guerrilla Family, the Hells Angels, the newcomers, the Crips. They even misspelled them. They were so new. And the Texas Syndicate, along with some other United White People's Republic, whatever that is. So as of 1976, for sure, they were coexisting with everybody in the Special Management Group. Nobody was making them drop their flag. Nobody was telling them they couldn't be TS. None of that. The men were sitting right there, holding it down for Tejas like they were supposed to. Because why would they go get involved with a Northern California, Southern California beef? Yes, of course, they align themselves with both of them factions at times because prison politics are complicated, but they still remained and kept their identity. The reason it was even possible for there to be a Texas car in a California prison is for the simple fact that there were so many Texas people in California at that time. During the Great Depression and onwards, people were migrant fruit workers. They literally traveled from farm to farm, season to season. That was their way of life. One of the stories in my family, my mom always talks about her mom, which was my grandma. They were out in California picking fruit as a little kid, and her brother passed away. And then, excuse me, my neighbor's going crazy. But they, she's crazy. She's a trip, man. But listen, so they were out in California picking fruit, and her brother passed away. Her dad wanted her to travel to Texas with them. Of course, she had to bury the brother. And they rode with him in a wood box in the back of a pickup truck all the way from California to Texas. So that was some wild stuff. But most of our migrant workers from Texas came from South Texas. They came from West Texas, the places where the economy was bad. There wasn't much industry. and that's what they were used to. So there was a mass migration of Hispanic people to Texas, to California, excuse me, and a lot of them got caught up. A lot of them moved there permanently. A lot of them just, you know what they say, they came on vacation, left on probation type shit. So that's why there was so many people from Texas in California prisons versus California men in Texas prisons. I've never known a time where there's a big number of men from California prisons here. I did meet some for sure, and they were all cool dudes, stand up guys. But the tables have never turned that way. So, with that being said, of course they clicked together. Of course they banded together. Sure they did. Did later they start to dwindle down and they start to get smaller and smaller? Yep. Because the mass migration stopped. People found jobs. The economy got better. People, integration in the schools happened. People started getting better educations. They just didn't have to do it. Now we're in a time in life where California people are moving to Texas. So it all comes full circle. But at that time, probably all the way into the 70s, we had a big movement going that way, and everybody knows it. This next newspaper article right here is from July 1978. The, the newspaper was interviewing a gang expert, and I guess he was asked about, who the toughest gangs in the California prison system are. He said the Aryan Brotherhood and Texas Syndicate, or Texas Mexicans, may comprise the meanest warriors walking the prison lockup yards. That's definitely his words, not mine. I wasn't even born yet. But to show you that they were even considered to be talked about in that category, lets you know the type of situation we was dealing with and how there was nothing soft about these men, not even slightly. When we talk about there being a lot of Texas men back then, there were a lot. It's easier to show you than tell you. Look, this is numbers from Folsom Prison in 1981. There are two large Hispanic gangs in Folsom, the Mexican Mafia and the Texas Syndicate, Miller said. He estimates active membership in the Mexican Mafia at 35 to 40 men, and the Texas Syndicate at 25. So think about that. 25 versus 35 to 40. I mean, 35 to 40 is still hard for 25 men to deal with at all times. Plus, they probably got their people doing what they want. But 25 was just the actual Texas Syndicate gang members. Imagine how many other guys there were there from Texas, too, because all of them didn't join. As all statistics and experience will show you that the minority of guys join these prison gangs. So, talking 35 to 40 Mexican Mafia on the yard, 25 Texas Syndicate on the yard. Still a heavy force to be reckoned with. And this next one right here will set it into proportion for some of the young street cats. So you can figure this out, all right? This is 1983. Again, 1983. I was 3 years old when this number came out. Said other gangs that have been identified in the California prisons include Texas Syndicate, a Texas-based Hispanic group of about 150 members, and the Bloods and Pyrus, two of the black gangs from LA with less than 200 members. So in 1983, Texas Syndicate was still standing strong with 150 members in the system, and there were less than 200 Bloods. Think about that. So there wasn't very many of each one, but that's still an amazing number because the TS had to stand strong against the North and the South to exist. And the Blood Pyrus had to stand strong against an amazing number of Crips, too. So they have a little bit in common right there with that one. The earliest mention I could find of the Texas Syndicate doing damage in the federal prison was actually 1978. Two of their members were convicted of murder in a West Coast United States penitentiary. They were in USP Lompoc. It says 2 reputed members of the Texas Syndicate, a Mexican prison gang, were sentenced to life in prison in Los Angeles federal court for their part in the December 28, 1978 stabbing death of another inmate at FCI in Lompoc. Jose Ramon Valles and Juan Molina also received concurrent 10-year sentences for transporting a weapon within the federal system. So we can safely say 1978, they were already established or getting established in federal prison. So it had escaped the bounds of CDCR, hit the feds, and worked its way to Texas. But with all this being said, this ain't no flex or anything like that. It's just an answer to those guys in the comments and everybody saying that Texas tangos and the politics of the farmers and all this wouldn't make it out there, but they already have. The EPT car is a tango, and the TS prison gang was established in California, branched off the EPT tango. At least that's what I take from it. If I got that wrong, fellas, I apologize, but that's what it seems like. So I don't know. That's just my take on it, y'all. We'll catch y'all later.